problems are not 844, 263, CBC, homeschooling. That's not where the problem is. And I'm sure, I think all of you are 844. Please stop accepting this abuse. There's nothing wrong with it, with you and the education we got. The reason why, let me tell you where this 844 tag came from. It came from me, my generation. It's because you people, we went to A-level, we were educated by missionaries. And not only that, remember what I said at the beginning. When we entered independence, the education system was very exclusive. It was very few people who made it in. What happened with 844? I'm not saying this, it is thanks to 844. I'm saying the changes that came with 844 were more than just the curriculum. They were also opening up to communities and ethnic groups that had previously been excluded from the education system. So now we started having the quota system where people from poorer counties, or okay, those days they were not counties, but people from marginalized areas were able to go to national schools, even though they didn't get very high marks. The other thing that 844 did was that it taught all the subjects. So in my system, the 763, you chose science literally at Form 2. So by Form 2, a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, you're already saying, I don't want any science in my life, or I don't want any arts in my life. And that is what made us very narrow-minded, my generation, because we were taught to only focus on the subjects where we were going to have a career. And that is why when the computers happened, it was very hard for my generation to adjust, but we adjusted. But it took longer because of the perception that anything to do with machines is science, so it doesn't concern us. So there's nothing wrong with you guys. Nothing. The system is the system, but it is not unique compared to the other system. So don't believe this 844 bad mouthing. There's nothing wrong with it that isn't wrong with with CBC, and that isn't wrong with colonial education. Nothing changed. The political dynamics were roughly the same. For 844, for CBC, for 763, for CAPE, and all the things the colonialists gave us, nothing major changed, except that with 844, there was no A-level. And so us who went to A-level, we started sneering at 844s, saying, who are they? Who do they think they are? They didn't do Form 5 and 6. Form 5 and 6 was very thorough. That's what my age mates say. There was nothing like that. Form 5 and 6 are very thorough. Now what are 844s doing and they've never gone to Form 5 and 6? That's rubbish. There's nothing like that. 844s have come out just as well as the rest of us. They are working in major parts of the economy and there's nothing wrong with them compared to us. So don't believe. There's nothing like 844. I kept saying that and nobody believed me, but I'll still say it. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with 844 that isn't wrong with everything else. The problems are still there. 844 CBC, the problems are the same. The other reason, so one reason why there's so much contempt for 844 is, one, that there was no A-level, unlike us people who were educated, God bless the Queen. That's why we think that it's such a bad thing that 844 is not going to A-level. How now? You know, they didn't meet Miss Branson or Mr. Who, those white guys who were teaching us even up to my age. That's one of the reasons for the contempt. The second reason for the contempt is the fact that it was Moi's system. Let's just be honest. This is politics. It was Moi's system. And not only was it Moi's system from him from a small community, it was also the fact that he opened up the system to other communities. So that contempt is actually an ethnic contempt. It's hidden in quality, but it's an ethnic contempt. It's an ethnic contempt for minority groups who were able to go to national schools because his government made a policy that people from disadvantaged communities should not be rated at the same in the same way as people from the communities where there was already education. So this is politics. It's not about education. It's about politics, ethnicity, and contempt that we have based on a hierarchy of race and ethnicity. So the madharau that the Europeans showed us, now the Kenyatta group showed the same madharau to communities from underdeveloped areas. And they were underdeveloped deliberately. It was a political process. It was not about whether their cultures are, I don't know, you know, you can come up with, they came up with all sorts of lies. So I never answered the question of 844. My siblings went to 844. I think they are very sharp. I know so many people who have done 844. I see nothing wrong with them. This anti-844 propaganda was made so as to sell CBC. And it was being sold by people who were my age, who went to A-level and were taught by missionaries. So they feel this thing of, hey, if you were not taught by Miss I don't know who from Lancaster, then you didn't get a good education. It's rubbish. Sorry, I'm sorry for being strong, but I got that question so many times and I kept trying to tell people there's nothing special about 844, nothing.